It is an era of turbulence, a time of uncertainty. The world is changing. Kingdoms emerge and prepare for war. Welcome to Fantasia.
Well, hello. How's it going, dude? You gonna sell me something? No? Okay. Go away. Get out of here with your llamas. Get out. Greetings and salutations, everybody. My name is Klautos, and welcome back to Fantasia, Chapter 50. We are half of the 100, I was gonna say like half century or something, but we're not talking about centuries. By half cent thing, I don't know. The 50 chapter milestone. That's where we're at. We're here in the Valley of Patrons, about to enter the Hall of Patrons, because we have some new patrons to add. And I want to do this right off the bat before we get into today's episode. So I'm just going to take some of these, blippity bloop, and let's go on over here and we'll get them set up. I'm really looking forward to today's episode. It's gonna be really cool. But we need to induct our new patrons in. So number one, pardon me, you're clearing my throat. We have, Grandpa Gamer, who is a goblin. All three are goblins. We have 3 new goblins. The goblin army is growing in size. Beware. Thank you, Grandpa Gamer, for your support. Much appreciated. And the next one we have is Magpie Tear. Or is it Tear? I don't know. Is it Tear or is it Tear? I read it Tear. I don't know. I'm just brutal like that. Boom, boom, boom. Thank you very much for your support. Greatly appreciated. And last but not least, we have Dragon Slayer Gal. Boom, boom, oh, boom, boom. Thank you very much for your support. All 3 of you. You guys are awesome. And let me put some candles up in here, right? Yeah, there we go. Fantastic. Much appreciated. Your patronage is ever appreciated. Look, we're filling out in here. Very cool. So today, I figured because it's episode 50, I kind of want to do sort of a world tour, huh? I'll try to keep it brief. I don't want it to be a super long video. But anyway, this is the Valley of Patrons. So far, this is all we have in here is the Hall of Patrons. But eventually, as the patronage grows, there's going to be like giant statues and monuments and you know, all kinds of stuff in this area. So before we get back to our current kingdom, I figured we should do this kind of in order. And to do that, I need to fly over here. I'm going to not show you that. That is to our right, because that's the most recent thing we're on. So we're going to start in the Goblin Kingdom of Bone Gorge. All right, we're going to go down here. We're going to take a little tour. It's down deep underground through all these caves. And I don't think I've been here in an episode since, I don't know. I don't know, maybe 20 episodes ago was the last time we were here, I think? I don't know. I really don't know. It's been a while. So the way is lit with torches, just for me. But whenever I do the world download, I'm taking these torches out. You guys gotta find the Goblin Kingdom. So there are still a lot of vanilla textures in this place, because when I built this, I was using Conquest. So yeah, it looks weird in my pack. I mean, it looks good. I like it. However, that's still default. That's still default. The soul stand is still default. Yeah, it just needs to... I need to come back in here and revamp all the stalactites and stalagmites. See, look, check these out. This is my andesite texture. Now that we have the new andesite stairs and slabs and walls, that makes a much better stalagmite than the cobblestone, I think. Way better. So yeah, I need to do these textures, get them looking good, but you know, whatever. So when I first built this place, originally this was going to be the whole kingdom was going to be just this. I wasn't planning on making it nearly as big as it ended up being. But this is sort of the lowest that they've reached. That's bedrock levels right down there, right? So we're way deep underground. So originally this was going to be the whole kingdom, but right now this is just sort of the mining area of it. You know, they mine deeper and deeper as they go. We have a dragon right here. The dragon who's sort of coming out of the rocks, right? So basically the goblins, as they were digging this place out, they came across this fossilized dragon from eons ago, and apparently he died defending this nether portal, right? And I still need to do this texture, and I need to do my obsidian texture. It'll get there, it'll get there. But once they discovered the portal, they stopped digging, so you can see his claws sort of coming out of the rocks there, and yeah, I really like it. His back claws down back this way, and his tail's sort of coming out like this. The tip of his wing is like this, but I might change that. I need to change it, actually. Just have a bone like that, and then a bone going straight back. I don't need finger bones here. So I'll change that eventually when I come back to it. So this ended up just getting a massive expansion in like episode 2. This was the first kingdom that I did, right? So yeah, and even this thing here is all inside the interior. There's like stairways going up all in there, and yeah, little goblin houses and stuff like that. So yeah, this is the Goblin Kingdom of Bone Gorge, and here you can kind of get an idea of what the goblins might look like, as they have carved the likeness of their goblin god into the wall, and they think that this goblin god is the one who slayed the dragon eons ago. But we don't know for sure if that's true. We'll have to wait until the lore comes out. I haven't done any of my gem blocks, so this looks really weird in default. But yeah, so I don't want to spend too much time in there. Down this way, we reach the top of the mining area where they have this sort of wagon. It's got a counterweight right here, a little crane, and it's hard to see it in the dark. But that goes down and it pulls up the ores, where they bring the ores over here, and they get smashed with this thing and processed, turned into these blocks. They get thrown on this little cart, and then some of the bigger goblins, the stronger guys, they'll pull the cart up and bring it over here into the treasure room. So yeah, that's that. Now when I built this, I wanted to have a whole bunch of bridges sort of crisscrossing the way. So that's sort of how it's designed. And down here we have I think it's here. No, it's not here. Hold on. It's very easy to get lost in this kingdom. We have the Shaman. The Goblin Shaman lives here. And I sort of modeled this after Gollum's house in The Lord of the Rings. In the books, it talks about how he lived on this island in an underground lake. And I always thought that was a really cool idea. So when it came time to make a shaman's house for the goblins, I had an opportunity to make one of my own, so I did. And so the lore of this place basically says that the goblins really like to eat gnomes. Well, they'll eat any meat, right? But they especially like the very sweet and juicy taste of gnomes, right? And the shaman is the one who figured out that if the goblins eat this netherwort, then they become immune to the gnome's illusion magic, okay? So as you can see, the shaman is the only one who has a compass or any kind of technology, right? Only in the shaman, right? So the goblins are very strong with their illusion magic. You know, if you want to fight a goblin, or a gnome, sorry, they can make you feel like you're melting, or that you're being eaten by a dragon, or that all of your bones are breaking. They're very strong with their illusion magic. So that's why they have all this netherwort here, so that they can eat it, and then hunt gnomes. And over here is sort of the larder, right? So we got this meat sort of cooking on the fire. We have captives here, animals and villagers alike. And we'll say gnomes, but even though there really isn't a gnome model, I might make a certain, now that we have biome-specific villagers, I might make gnomes like tiny villagers. I might redo their models, make them tiny in a certain biome so I can use them. I think that'd be really cool. So here, this one's open, like they dragged out a body and cooked it up. Yum! So yeah, that's this place. This kingdom took, I think I finished in 25 episodes. It took me to build this, but there's just, the whole place is just full of houses. Everywhere you go, all these areas are just loaded. And I didn't use any copy paste. This is all built by hand. And because you kind of have to, because of the odd shape of them, you know, it really wasn't that difficult to build them. Once you get in a groove, you just kind of throw them together. But yeah, and every place is reachable in survival mode without flying, which is nice. So it comes all the way up here to the very top of the mountain where the exit is. One of the exits is up here. Now, there is another exit here, which is the other, like, up in the mountain exit, and this one has sort of a lookout tower, right? So the goblins can come up here and look out and survey the land and see if anybody is walking by, like this llama here. They go out there and get it, you know? So we got this rickety old bridge connecting it to the inside of the kingdom. And yeah, that's Bone Gorge. I feel like I'm leaving stuff out. This place is absolutely massive, and I love it. And the future kingdoms are all going to be at least this big as well. So there are many. Oh, this is what I'm forgetting. This is sort of their wood staging area where they chop down trees and they store wood down here to build their little houses with. Here we have a fallen tree that they drag down here. We have this little custom forest here with another tree that they're processing there. Just a little forest right here. It's not really that big. Eventually, I do want to expand it to cover this entire area, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But one day, this little forest here will go across all of this and in between all these mountains. It's gonna be very, very large. So there really is no one main entrance to the Goblin Kingdom. It's all the ways in are basically through these underground caves, with the exception of that one and the ones up there at the surface. Those aren't really main entrances. There really is no main entrance. But like I said, there are several ways in here. And the ways in are these little, you know, unimposing entrances that are sort of just like little holes, and you follow them and they lead to these cave systems. And there is a massive cave system surrounding the entire Goblin Kingdom. Some of them are naturally formed, and some of them I built myself, but there's a lot of them. So that is the Goblin Kingdom of Bone Gorge. And after I did this one, I came up with the gnome lore, and then I figured, well, since we have some lore involving gnomes, I need to build a Gnome Kingdom. Now this one is not a big kingdom, and it's not really going to be a big kingdom. This is sort of just one of the minor kingdoms. You know, it's not a main area in the world, but I did build a whole bunch of custom trees to make sort of like an enchanted kind of forest, right? And by the way, if you're wondering about my texture pack, this is my own pack. So these are all my own textures, and my dog's over there jingle jangling, kicking himself in the face. I apologize for that, but so yeah, these are my textures, which I'm quite proud of. Some of them still need a little bit of work, and some of them are still default. Like I haven't done my jungle leaves yet, but I have done my oak and my dark oak. It's coming along. So this is basically it. So some of the trees are also houses, like this one, right? It doubles as a house. They hollowed it out. This one is also hollowed out to make a house, and as you can see, the gnomes are tiny. And in here we have the tiniest possible houses you could build in Minecraft, which is that, right? It's a 2x2 block. That's a house. It's so small that you can't get inside of it, right? And we could just pretend like you know, these are actually, I think on some of them I actually did go through and use the upside down stairs for the, I think, yeah, like this one, see? This one. I didn't put a roof on it because I'm not done with this kingdom. I sort of took a break from it to start building the human kingdom. But yeah, you can actually go in there if you were small enough. If you were gnome-sized, you could go in there. I should put a roof on there because it looks really weird just like that. I did this in a live stream once, and I was like, here's how you build the smallest houses in Minecraft. So small you can't even get in them. I love it. Anyway, eventually, this kingdom is going to stretch all the way down here. And I say it's a small kingdom, and this is small. But it's going to stretch all the way out here to this little lake. And that's pretty much going to be the extent of it. And I think for this one, I may copy-paste some of the houses. I may not, but they're so small. They're so small that it's really kind of pointless to try to build that over and over where you get the right angle with the stairs and this and that. It's just 8 blocks, you know? I'll just copy it and pop them all over the place. I might do the roofs a little different, you know, just so that they're not all exactly the same. Because I like having some variation. Here's one of the bigger houses for one of the more wealthy gnomes. You know, they live here in this 2-story house. That we cannot access because we are too large. Here's a sort of a regular size house right here. Here's another big one up there. And yeah, so that's the Gnome Kingdom. Oh, the castle. Yeah, we have a castle. Let me come up here. I'll show you guys the castle. And and while we're at it, I have a couple of textures to show you guys since the last texture pack update where we did this grass. And hold on, I'll show you guys up here. Yeah, see if you can look at the grass, it blows in the wind. And it's weird that here we're only getting one of the grass textures to show up. Oh, there's another one. Okay, yeah. So I have like 5 random grass textures, okay? And they all kind of blow in the wind like that. Well, not all. Some of them don't. Because for some reason, if I have one that if all of them blow in the wind, then for some reason, some of them will pop up with the black and purple things like texture missing. I don't know why. I haven't figured that out yet. But what you guys have not seen yet are my ferns. Check out my ferns, huh? This is the little fern. Like that, see? And I adjusted the model so that they kind of stick outward like that a little bit. Gave it a little bit of tilt. So that's what the small fern looks like. And here is the large fern. It's basically the same as the small fern on these outsides, but the middles of them have grown up like that. I might go through and touch them up just a little bit, fill in some of these holes with a little bit of shading. But I kind of like it how it is. I might not change it. I'm kind of on the fence. But yeah, so that's new. And also, where is it? I also did my dandelions. And let me pop one of these out real quick. I'll show you guys what. Oh, did I? Come on. Dandelion. Boom. There we go. The dandelions look like that. And they're bushy, right? And I don't really like the greenness of them. I do want to go back and fix them. I like the flowers. There might be just a few too many. But there are 2 different textures there. As you can see, there's this one. And there's that one, and it's random which one shows up. So, but the leafy bits, the grassy leafy bits, I'm not really happy with them. They're a little bit too dark. Oh, there's one right there. I could have showed you. Pink. They're a little too dark. I'm gonna have to go back and revamp them. So, anyway, so this is the Gnome Kingdom, and I still don't have a name for it. I'll think of one eventually. I have a list of some, but I just haven't looked at it in forever. So now we'll go to the human kingdom, which is the kingdom we are working on currently. And that is right here. And this is, so far, the biggest kingdom. This is going to absolutely dwarf the Goblin Kingdom, okay? Like all of this that I'm standing on, all of this land is going to be covered in houses and buildings and shops and all kinds of stuff is going to be all over here. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice a little. Oh, here you can really see the grass. Look at this. Look at that. Look at it moving in the wind. Isn't that nice? So here's the castle. I don't have a name for it yet. But yeah. And here you can see the keep. The towers of the keep sort of poking through right there, yeah? See, there's our donjon, which I have an idea for that I want to change from the last episode. Last episode. I think it was... Yeah, it was the last episode. It's been a while since I made a video. It's been like 2 weeks. But yeah, so let's come on up here. This is the donjon. Now, the idea behind this castle, and this whole kingdom really, but mainly the castle, is I'm going for historical accuracy. So as you can see, we have proper battlements on all of these walls, okay? Now, I've seen some Minecrafters when they have a wall, and they'll do, like, let's say that, you know, just real quick here, right? You'll have your wall, boom, 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 boom. And then they'll have crenellations and they'll just do something like this, right? But that is entirely too small because that's not going to defend you, right? You're going to have to duck down and stuff. So, and also there's no machicolations. So I wanted proper, historically accurate battlements. And also just sort of the defensive design of the castle in general. So here we have proper machicolations that you can actually fire down. So if there's an army, they breach the walls, they get in here, you have these machicolations, you open them up, and you can fire arrows down if they get too close to the wall. So they're actually functional, and I really, really like that. Now, this is a huge castle, okay? And I'm basing it sort of on the Dark Ages, primarily, which is where castles were mostly made to be defensive, right? In the High Middle Ages and in the Renaissance, castles were mostly made for esteem, you know, like, oh, look at my castle, look how rich I am, you know. And they'd have crenellations, but a lot of times they weren't functional, and it was just decorative stuff. So I'm incorporating some fantasy elements, like these giant towers here. These would not have been built in historical times, right? Maybe smaller ones here and there, a donjon. Those were relatively common. So we come in here, and I finished this since the last episode. This is the Blacksmith, which was a very, very tricky build because it's on a diagonal, right? It's on a diagonal here, and it's on a diagonal back here. But I got it done. The roof is going to be just a little bit wonky, but that's okay. I like it. It gives it character. It does. I really like it. We got this really cool chimney sticking out, and from up above, I mean, I like it. I like the way it looks. I think it looks totally fine. As wonky as it is, you know, it's sort of, maybe it was sort of hastily made, you know, who knows, but I like it. So this is sort of our garrison where some of the knights would live, or maybe, I'm thinking, this might be like the general, the lead knight would live here. This would be his specific house. Originally, I was going to make this a garrison that had all of the king's most loyal knights living in this one space, but I think that a king as wealthy enough as this one to build a kingdom this big, he could afford to have his highest ranking knight live here, and then maybe rank number 2 would live here. We'll give him a house here. They have their own blacksmith here, which is also the king's sort of blacksmith, and over here is the stables. This is the king's personal stables with the king's horse, the queen's horse, and I guess the prince's horse or whatever. And then we have the stable master who lives in this house right here, right next to it. I really like the way this came out. This looks really nice. We have some hay bales back here, which I really like my hay bale textures. I think those came out really, really cool. I might even add some straw sort of sticking out of the block like that, kind of like how I did on my grass blocks, as you can see, like right there. See how there's an extra layer of grass? I might do something like that on the hay bales as well. Just have some little straws sort of sticking out just to give it a little bit more character. I think that would be really cool. Yeah, so that is basically it so far, except for this monstrosity right here. And this castle is not done. The walls are still very plain because I'm still designing it, and I want it to be historically accurate, but I'm making it on the scale of a fantasy castle, right? So it's enormous. That goes all the way up to build height right there. I mean, it's insane. It's incredibly large. But eventually, all of these walls are going to not just be stone brick. I'm going to add some design elements in there, give it more of a fantasy sort of look, but still maintaining a historically accurate defensive design, right? So, for example, we have this whole castle is very defensive. This entrance here is it's called a Zwinger. And basically, if you want to take over this castle, you have to make your way through a gauntlet of arrows and boiling oil and stuff being... I need to do the roof there. Just stuff... The guards will just rain down death upon you, right? That's what this is. And we have a drawbridge here with another portcullis right here. So that's another extra line of defense. We have another portcullis here, another line of defense, another portcullis here. I didn't have the room for another drawbridge, and that's okay. Here's going to be the main gate, but I haven't done it yet because I'm considering taking this tower and this wall here, all of that out, and having all of this open. Right now, this is kind of it's kind of its own bailey here. So we basically have 4 baileys. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 4 different baileys. I might consolidate these 2 and get rid of this wall and have the main entrance be right here. So I'm still kind of on the fence of that. But let's go inside the castle and see what we got. So if you happen to make your way up and you can defeat all of the guards and you make your way up here, the last line of defense is this drawbridge right here, which leads down to a pit, and that pit goes down into the dungeon. And there's another portcullis here. We have some matriculations up here where you can get arrows fired down upon you. That's the second last line of defense. The absolute last line of defense is this. And historical castles would typically have these in them, where they would have doors that would be locked, and there would be guards above you who would fire down arrows. You'd basically be trapped inside this room, and they would drop, boiling hot water and just pelt you with arrows. And that's sort of it. But even still, if you make your way into the castle, all of the stairwells are historically accurate in that they go up in a counterclockwise fashion. And the reason why that castles would be like this is so that if you are sieging the castle, typically the most defended places would be at the top, right? If you were sieging this castle, you couldn't really swing your sword around this central column here, right? It would be very difficult to take on a guard who has all of this room here to swing his sword, right? So that's why they have their stairs going down like that. Now, none of these rooms are really decorated. I just have sort of the floor plan laid out. But eventually, these floors are going to be replaced with some what is it called? Glazed terracotta. And I'm going to do some really cool medieval-looking glazed terracotta textures for sort of like an ornate, very designy floor, if that makes sense. A designy floor, yeah. So this is basically going to be like the dining hall right here, and this is still the main floor, right? See, there's the main entrance, and then here is sort of the guest quarters. So guest room there, guest room here, guest room there, and there. Over here is going to be the guest solar, and what a solar is basically like a living space to get away from sort of the noise of the rest of the castle, kind of like a living room, like a private quarters. But this is a private quarter for the guests that might be staying here. Could come over here and just sort of hang out and have coffee or whatever they have. Little storage room there. Stairwell going up to the next floor here, and we'll go ahead and take it. We'll go up. There are like 5 different stairwells. I haven't done this floor yet because this is where the throne room is going to be, and I'm not sure exactly how I want to go about designing it yet, so that one is still sort of on hold. But let's come on down here, and we'll go... let's see, where are we? Oh, this is where we are. Okay. Let's go down... let's go down this way. So if we go through the eating quarters, the galley, as it were, we come to this other stairwell, and why don't we have a candle there? We need a candle there. I love my candles. Check it out. That's a redstone torch, but it's a candle in my pack. Yeah, so these towers are all going to have very well defended, like little lookouts, and stuff like that. But I haven't really put them in yet. But this is going to go all the way around the stairwell, which is in the center. So here is the utility room, right? The cleaning stuff. And like I said, none of this is decorated yet because I need to get the design done first. I think that's the most important thing. This is the kitchen where they cook the food, and then after they cook it, they bring it up these stairs here, which takes you back up to the galley. And now, let's see, the other part. Let's go back upstairs. Oh, one more thing. This is this right here is a secondary entrance to the castle. This is sort of where all the people who work in the castle, the servants, the cooks, the cleaning, and all the work that needs to be done in the castle. All the workers will come in through this entrance, and this will be their sort of check-in room. There'll be like a little desk here where they check in, and they put their weapons away, put them there because no weapons allowed inside. Yada yada yada. They come in, they get to work. Let's see, and the level below us is the dungeon, so we're gonna go there, and to get to the dungeon we have to go up and around. There's no way down into the dungeon from that level. So we're gonna go this way. In here we go down 2 levels. This is a sort of an area I'm trying to figure out what to do with it, but on the other side of this is this is like the king's private armory is going to be right in here, and then over this way in this hall is going to be the treasury. Okay, so it's really big. It takes a while to get around places, but this room here sort of separates the armory and the armory and the the armory and the treasury from the kitchen and the utility area. So I have sort of this area that I'm not really sure what I want to do with it yet. I don't know if I want to make it part of that side or part of that side. I haven't really decided. So let's go down and check out the dungeon. The dungeon is way cool. I love it. This is the first part of the castle that I did. And oh, pardon me, my voice is coming out. So here we have these chains that are sort of hanging down from these hooks here. So when a prisoner comes down, they get checked in right here. They get booked. And I still need to do the bottom of these. Hold on. Let me get a magic wand. Wait, we go. Give Klautos debug stick. Where'd it go? Did it go in here? Yeah, there it is. Okay. Let's fix this. I changed this at some... Oh, no. Okay, facing. There we go. We'll have it like that. Nope. Oh, wait. Oh. Make it go up. There we go. That's how we want it. Okay, so they come in. They get checked in. I still haven't done my lectern textures. I still haven't done quite a few things. But that's what a fern looks like in a pot, see? Look at that. Isn't that nice? It looks really cool. So we have these chains here. So they get checked in, and then they come down here, and they find their cell. And so this is a pretty big dungeon. And down here at the far end, we have a torture chamber, which is really cool. We have these things where you can get strapped up and beaten. Right? We got skulls in here. We have these little standing cells where there's not enough room to sit down or lay down in these, so people would just be put in these for hours and hours and hours and hours, days maybe, and just that would be a form of torture, right? Or they could stand in there while they're waiting to be tortured on this rack here. And my rope is gone again. You guys lost. Hold on, check this out. I don't know why this keeps happening, but I'm losing. Like, sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. But if I go like this, and boom, boom, and then we go, oh, wait. Did that, hold on. Oh! Oh, I'm screwed. I'll mess with it. I'll mess with it off camera. Wait. Nope. There we go. Did I do it? I didn't do it. Okay, whatever. How do I... Oh my god. What am I doing? Whatever. How long is this rope? What? No way. Oh, that's hilarious. It stretches. I can't get rid of the rope. Why is that? Why is that? Okay, you know what? Here, let's... Okay, here's what we gotta do. We gotta get one of those. Put it right there. And then we need to get our lead. We're gonna fix this right now on camera. Oh, come on. Lead. There. There we go. Oh, come on. There we go, like that. And bam. Oh, there we go. And there, and boom. There we go. All right. Look, okay, now we have a rack. Okay? So they can just pull these cranks here, and then the rack will stretch them and whatever. It's awesome. I love it. Okay. So we had to fix it. But yeah, we have all these different cells here, which is really, really cool. And it goes back that way and stuff. And we have some of these other cells here for the really bad prisoners. These are like sort of the solitary confinement areas with these little food holes, right? Where they get their toilet bucket and their food bucket gets served to them through the little hole, right? The only time this door ever opens is when the prisoners are being put in there. Usually it's a life sentence and they just live in there until they die. And that's actually historically accurate, okay? That's one of the historically accurate parts of the dungeon here. Okay, but let's go back up to the surface. And I think that's... one more. I think that is pretty much it for Fantasia so far. That's the whole thing. So still have a whole lot to do. We got so much building. I think in the next episode we'll put a little house here for the for another one of the knights. We'll see if we can squeeze one in there. It'll be a little one, right? I don't know, something. Man, that may not be big enough. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'll play around with it. But anyway, that's what I got so far in this world. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. I really appreciate it. It helps out my channel tremendously. And subscribe if you haven't already. And hope to see you guys in the next chapter of Fantasia. And until that time, be excellent to each other. And farewell.